All right, we're ready. Okay. Mayor-elect Strickland, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
And we're excited to have you. And our viewers, I'm sure, are going to be, and our readers are going to be excited to, hear what your plans are. So Mayor Jim Strickland, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So tell us, tell us about your childhood.
Well, it was a pretty normal childhood, except that my dad was transferred to many different cities. He was in sales. He sold Naugahyde, which was that fake leather that you put on furniture and so forth. But I was born in South Bend, Indiana, moved to Detroit, Cincinnati, which is the first city that I remember. Then we moved to Louisville, kind of grew up in Louisville, and moved to Memphis when I was going to 8th grade. So I was real interested in sports. I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player because when I grew up in the 70s in Cincinnati and Louisville, which is real close to Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds were fantastic. That was the Big Red Machine with Joe Morgan, Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, Tony Perez. When I was a kid, the posters of those guys were on my bedroom wall, and I idolized those guys and wanted to emulate them. Then we moved to Memphis, and I went to high school here at Christian Brothers High School and went to college and law school at Memphis State and been practicing law here ever since.
That's good stuff, man. So why did you decide to run for mayor?
I love Memphis. I've been to different cities. I think Memphis is a great city. We got great people. We got great things going on in Memphis. But for some reason, we weren't growing. We're not growing. We're not growing in population. In fact, we're losing population. We're not growing in jobs. So I really thought we needed a change of direction. And, I was prepared to run and lose. And if I lost, then I would no longer be in politics, and I would go on with life and be happy with life. But I thought I'd roll the dice. I could have run for one more council election, but I just thought the time was right. Frankly, I thought that my priorities of focusing on population loss, driving down crime, was exactly what the city needed. And I had enough confidence in myself that I thought I could win the race, and we got lucky and won.
Well, it's obvious that a great deal of the voters felt the same way. So how do you feel about that? Because that was a mandate.
Yeah, I thought it was a mandate. I was very thrilled. We got support in all parts of the community. We had active support in our campaign from all parts of the community. I felt really pleased with the result and really do feel like Memphis as a whole wanted change, resoundingly so. Because we all, we all want the same things. We want a safe neighborhood. We want a clean neighborhood. We want a place where our kids can play, go to school, get a good education, and then eventually get a job. Those aren't, they're complex solutions, but they're simple wants. We all want the same thing, no matter we're white, black, Democrat, Republican, rich or poor. And we weren't getting those. And so the campaign was real easy. I gave the same, stump speech every place I went, whether it was a black neighborhood association or a white neighborhood association. It was the same speech. I didn't tailor it to one group or the other. And I really felt like it went over well. Obviously not everyone voted for me, but I got a good reception everywhere.
Right.
And I really felt good throughout the whole campaign. I'm excited about the challenge, and I'm looking forward to it.
I'm going to veer just a little bit. Some of the answers that you give me kind of make me want to ask a couple other questions. Let's talk about race relations in Memphis. With everything that's happening here in Stewart, things, and just even before that, with just race relations, period. What are your thoughts on that? And is there a way for us to fix that or to start building together?
I'm no expert in race relations, but what I focus on is what we have in common, and instead of what divides us. And what we have in common is crime, schools, blight, and litter. And so that's what I focus on. And when I talk to any group where I'm going, I talk about those things. And I figure if we can relate on what we have in common, then when we do have differences, maybe it can be a better discussion at least. Because there are things that that because of the way we were brought up, that we think about differently. But those are sort of outlying issues. The core service issues we all think alike on. And we've had these problems for 100 years or more, so it's not like I'm going to solve it all in the next 4 years. But if I can clean up the blight and clean up the litter and make our city more attractive for businesses to come in where we have jobs, then that makes everything better.
People's quality of life.
Oh.
And that's the bottom line. Right.
And that's what was so good about the election. Some people were surprised as a white guy that I got so much black support. It didn't surprise me at all, because I think most of Memphis, not all, most of Memphis has moved beyond black or white, and they just want service, and they want an improved quality of life. And it's not, again, I keep repeating myself, it's not like black folks want something different than white folks. We all want the same thing. And if we campaigned equally in all parts of the city, if we provide equal service to everyone, that's what people want: equal service and equal opportunity.
Okay, all right. So now that you've won the mayoral seat, and we've been kind of talking about this, what is your vision for the city?
You know, my vision is sort of a simple vision, in that fact that we need to be excellent in the delivery of basic services. Police, fire, trash pickup, parks. Because if we can get the basics right, like a football team, if you're a football team, you need to block and tackle well. And if you can block and tackle well, then you can do the additional things, a flea flicker or some crazy play. But if you don't block and tackle well, you're not going to win many football games. As a city, we need to block and tackle well, do the basic services well, and then make the city more attractive for people and businesses to come in, because you have to have a clean, in my mind, you have to have a clean city with a lowering violent crime rate. We're never going to eliminate it all, but if we can get it going in the right direction, make it more attractive for businesses to come in here. Because I always say that city government does not create jobs. We create an atmosphere where jobs are created. And, we were talking before we started, the state legislature has really put a priority on job training and getting people ready for the workforce. I took a tour of the TCAT the other day, and what was so fascinating about this place, and you know this, but you can, as an 18, 19-year-old, you can go there and train as an airport mechanic.
For free.
For free. Tuition's free because of the state legislature and the governor. Go, tuition's free, 18, 19 years old. You study for a year and a half, so you can graduate when you're 20 or so. You can get a job paying $56,000 a year. In 5 years, you can make $120,000 a year. You can be 24 years old, 25 years old, making $120,000 a year.
We call that balling out here.
I mean, but it's a secret almost.
Right.
We need to be broadcasting that. What you and the state legislature and the governor are doing is fantastic, and we in local government need to help broadcast that, because not everyone is made for traditional college, a 4-year degree in history or philosophy. There's a lot of people who just want to go to work. It's still college,
right,
but it only takes a year and a half.
Right.
And if we can direct people to those technical colleges or community colleges or traditional 4-year colleges, get them trained up to get jobs, we can bring better jobs here. And people, the opportunity's there if people want to work hard for it. And I'm so excited to be part of that now, to try to get people in there.
That's good stuff. So in talking about your vision for the city, let's shift to the Raleigh, Fraser, North Memphis area, which I'm sure most of our viewers are really even more concerned about. Right. What about Raleigh, Fraser, and North Memphis?
First I want to say that I'm from Raleigh. When we moved to Memphis, I lived in the Raleigh-Bartlett area.
Well, that's always a plus for you. You probably get all the votes for your reelection.
Yeah. But Sycamore View, Raleigh-LaGrange.
Yeah.
That's where my parents lived when I was in high school, 8th grade through high school and even through college. And so, the Raleigh Mall was my mall, the Raleigh, everything, and I'm very familiar with the Raleigh-Bartlett area. But my plans for Fraser, Raleigh area are not, frankly, any different than any other place, because I get this question a lot. This is something I learned on the campaign. Most areas of town feel neglected by city government. I get the question, what are you going to do for Whitehaven? What are you going to do for South? What are you going to do for Cordova? And honestly, I'm not going to do anything special for Raleigh, Fraser, Cordova, South Memphis. I'm going to do the same for everyone, which is focus on driving down crime. And we could talk a half hour about that, but we got to figure out how we get more police officers on the street, and that's a long discussion in and of itself. But we got to do that. We got to focus on that. We also got to do a better job of cleaning up the blight and the litter. I've heard stories that before I got here, Memphis was one of the cleanest cities in the country, and we're just not now. If you're starting a business and you open it up, and right outside your door is litter and grass growing through the sidewalk, no one's going to come to your business, and that's kind of what Memphis is. Let's clean up that litter, clean this city up so that businesses want to come here, and that's what I promise to do. Also, I'm going to be responsive. I work hard. I'll be out in the community just like I was in the campaign. It's just not going to be every 4 years. You'll see me out in Raleigh and Fraser. I'll work hard. I'll be responsive. Now, I also ask people to be patient because things aren't going to change in the first 30, 60 days. We will work hard. Memphis has real challenges. And it's not the fault of anyone in particular who served before. It's too big for that.